Yes, some people might say, oh, it's cringy that you're posting YouTube videos, oh, it's embarrassing, oh, it's weird. But I think people that say that are only coming from a place of insecurity themselves. People are only showing you reflections of themselves. It's not about you, it's about them. So yeah, just repeat to yourself, if it makes me proud, just do it. I swear that's the Nike logo, isn't it? I've never used incense before, so I don't know what... I swear it's... Okay, it's starting to smoke now. Does anyone know how to use incense? Oh, it looks like it's working now. How pretty, huh? I've decided I want my videos to be extra aesthetic. I'm not wearing my rings. I'm gonna put them on now. Where can I put this so you can see it really well? In front of my face. Probably not very safe though. God, that smells so good. I actually made, well, I didn't make this. We just found a little bit of wood at the side of this house, picked it up and made a hole in it. We were like, should we start an Etsy page? It's working! I don't know if you'll be able to see the smoke, which is what I kind of wanted. Hello everybody, I'm Alessia and today I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to feel good about yourself. Basically happiness tips. I think they're really good. Particularly my last one. That one you actually really want to stick around for because that's the whole reason why I made the video, because of that last tip. In fact, I'll give you a sneak peek now. Happiness is not a place that you live in when you get your life together. I think I've felt such a pressure to be happy, mainly because I engage in a lot of media about happiness. I listen to a lot of podcasts that talk about self-improvement, which inevitably talk about how to be happy. And I think this actually puts this pressure on me. That pressure to be happy is making us unhappy. I've got to put my rings on. I'm sorry, but I can't do a YouTube video without my rings on. Is that incense still burning? I can't tell. It is, but it needs to be closer to you. Maybe I'll put it there. Can you see the smoke there? I need to get sponsored by an incense company because I feel like I'm going to burn these so often now. Oh my god, I love it. Look, all the smoke's coming in. That's not distracting, is it? No, I think it's so lovely. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so yeah, I'm Alessia. For those of you that don't know me, for those of you that are back, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get really hydrated and feel energized by the water that we can just literally pour from our taps. How lucky are we? Let's do that together now. If you don't have water around you now, that's fine. Just make sure you do it later. Water gives you energy and water is so important and it's so easy to forget to drink. I do it all the time. If you're someone that gets constipation, like your girl, I just don't go for number twos. But anyway, this helps me go for number twos. If I drink a lot of water, it just... Anyway, I haven't even started giving you tips or talking, well not tips, but talking about happiness and how to feel good about yourself. I'm no guru, by the way. That's why I don't want to say give you tips because it's like I'm some kind of life expert. I've just researched some things and I've got some thoughts that I just want to share with my beautiful friends. Oh, birdies. Anyway, let's just get into what I wanted to talk about. So the first thing that I kind of wanted to discuss is impressing people. There's so much smoke. I think... Okay. I think we are so obsessed with impressing others. It's quite easy to be obsessed with impressing others just because of the world we live in. We live in a world where we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people because of social media. But I think if we were more concerned with impressing our child self, our current self, ourselves basically, then I think we'd be a lot happier because then we'd act on what we'd want to act on. We would pursue the things that we want to pursue. We would focus on our own needs and then we'd feel fulfilled because we've done that. And I do think habits make things easier. So the more you focus on what you want to do and the more you consider that, the more natural that's going to become, the more casual that's going to become. Okay, right now you might think, I can't focus on my needs. I am a people pleaser. I jump to think about others first. Okay, completely get that. I'm the same. But I do think the more you encourage yourself to go, well, actually, what do I think first? What's what's going to benefit me, what's important to me, what am I wanting to do. The more you encourage yourself to think that, the easier it becomes. That's what a habit is. When you form a habit, it's uncomfortable at first, but they say after you've done it for 2 weeks, it just kind of becomes routine and you don't question it. I've got a good example for you. Me YouTube channel. I post some quite explicit things on this channel sometimes. If you don't know, check out my other videos. I talk about all kinds of things, basically because I want to be my authentic self. I want to be open and honest and vulnerable because I would love to see that more. I just think there's so much unnecessary stigma out there, particularly related to women. So I do like to talk about masturbation on this channel, about intimacy, about pleasuring yourself. I think those things are, yes, shameful because we live in a world that demonizes female pleasure, but actually I think they're beautiful. So I'm going to talk about them. But when I'm editing my YouTube videos, I will be like, oh my gosh, what if your parents see this? They might be really uncomfortable. What I have to tell myself is, this is in line with what I want to do. This is going to make me proud because this is going to hopefully empower other women and it's going to destigmatize masturbation. So I'm going to keep this little segment of the video in where I show my vibrator because other women will see it and think, oh my gosh, yes, it's normal to pleasure yourself. Oh my gosh, maybe I should try and do that. Ultimately, my goal is to make women feel safer in this world that is clearly not set up for them. That makes me proud. So that's an example. I've kind of lost my trail of thought there. I think it's because there's like a million pigeons outside. Hi guys. I think that I need to focus on this because I've literally got fire in my hands. Okay. Now, posting things on YouTube that are a little bit explicit, a little bit controversial, can be scary. But what I tell myself is, if it makes me proud, just do it. And I think that's quite a good affirmation to have. If it makes you proud, just do it. So say, for example, you've written a short story and you really want to share it on Instagram, or say you really want to start your own YouTube channel, you might be plagued with other people's judgments. Other people's judgments might be something you're internalizing and then they're acting as barriers to stop you from being a creative genius. Yes, some people might say, oh, it's cringy that you're posting YouTube videos, oh, it's embarrassing, oh, it's weird. But I think people that say that are only coming from a place of insecurity themselves. They probably want to do something similar. They probably want to put themselves out there in a similar way to you. They probably are unhappy work-wise or whatever. So you've just got to remember that people are only showing you reflections of themselves. It's not about you, it's about them. So yeah, just repeat to yourself, if it makes me proud, just do it. I swear that's the Nike logo, isn't it? I know it's... Ooh, the sun's come out. As usual for my YouTube videos, whenever I film at my parents' house, the sun just comes through this window. Anyway, I know this is all easier said than done. I know that forgetting about other people's opinions and just doing it because it makes you feel proud is sometimes really, really hard. Especially if you're kind of going against your parents' beliefs or ideas. I think everyone just wants to make their parents feel proud. I don't think I've met anyone who deep down doesn't want that. I certainly want that, but I don't let that be the driving force of what I do. I think some people let their lives be driven by their desire to kind of please their parental figures. I think this is something that you're never really going to be able to completely stop wanting to like impress your parents and please your parents, but I do think that you can make life choices that suit you but maybe that don't suit them. I think that's possible. I think I kind of do that. I've done that with this like YouTube channel, so not that they're not supportive of it because they completely are, but I don't know, it's just quite alien to them, like pursuing a YouTube career. But it benefits me and it's going to make me happy, and I think ultimately, deep down, that's what parents want, and that's what's going to make them proud if you're doing something that you clearly enjoy. I think if you're able to radiate positivity in what you do, then you're gonna make your parents proud, and if that's not gonna make them proud, then that's a them problem. Right, I need some water. Do I need to relight it? I've seen people do that before. The whole thing's just come off. Is that normal? Why isn't this working? I I just wanted this to look good for my video. Right, last go, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm done. I'm really upset that I can't get this to light. It smells really good at least though. It's sandalwood. Really nice smell. When I was younger, I used to hate the smell of incense, and now I'm older, I love it. How are you doing? I haven't even asked. My wonderful, wonderful YouTube friends. Can you see this? It's like so close to going out. Oh, come on. Right, let's do it like this, like a... Why do I find this so satisfying? Can we take a deep breath together? I can't say what's happened, but something has happened this morning. I was in such a good mood. I still am, and I think filming always makes me feel so much better. But something happened this morning that kind of disturbed my peace a little bit and upset me a little bit. And I think just breathing into the pain is sometimes the best thing you can do, and just kind of not trying to fight it, not trying to heal it, just sitting with it. Let's put her in her stand over here. I might actually put my book down so then the smoke can just fall up into my face and you guys can watch. So there's this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow is interested in happiness. So I was reading up on his theory, which I'll admit is quite rigid. And I don't completely agree with all of it, but there were some really useful points. So Maslow is this guy who has come up with a hierarchy of needs, and at the top is self-actualization. This is the point that we all want to get to. Self-actualization is basically where you reach your full potential. You realise what your purpose in life is. You realise how capable you are, what you're capable of doing. You see how talented you are. You see how passionate you are. You fall into place basically. And it's the stage that we all want to get to, the self-actualization stage. But apparently we can't reach the top of that pyramid if our basic needs aren't met as a child. Basic needs being like food, safety, security, self-esteem, love. And obviously it's kind of on your parents to make you feel all these things. And our parents have their own stuff that they're dealing with. And maybe they lacked that growing up, so they passed down the trauma. I don't know. Everyone's different. I don't think anyone has perfect parents though. So inevitably, something might be missing in those basic needs. That means that kind of impedes you reaching your potential. So what Maslow says is if you lack these kind of basic foundations, then your primal brain will be in gear and you'll basically be acting on fear. And how on earth are you meant to like focus on your creative passions if you're just worried about surviving? I think this is really, really interesting. I'm so interested in like psychology, especially related to our childhood and the stuff that we learn as a child and the coping mechanisms we develop as children. Just think it's so interesting, and I think our childhood experiences definitely affect how we navigate as adults, definitely affect how we see the world, definitely affect how happy we are. I know so many people that as a child felt they didn't have their self-esteem nurtured, that they didn't feel good about themselves, that they didn't feel particularly loved by maybe parental figures, just family members. It's interesting because I think there are so many people that felt like they had to earn their parents' love, earn their family members' love, earn that affection, earn their appreciation. Perhaps you didn't feel uplifted by your parents because they didn't just support you and appreciate you for existing. You kind of had to earn that. I think this installs the idea that you have to do in order to be enough. You have to do things for other people in order to be enough. So many adults feel underappreciated because they were underappreciated as a child. I know so many people that feel like they have to work to be loved and prove themselves constantly to be worthy. And I think this probably stems from their basic foundations not being met. Anyway, you can research on it because I feel like I'm struggling to explain it properly. But understanding all of this, going to therapy, talking about it with friends, I think opens doors for you. It means that you can be like, aha, I didn't feel loved as a child, or I feel like my self-esteem really took a hit as a child. So that's what I can nurture myself now. You can mother yourself. You can parent, or maybe not even mother. You can look after yourself. Mother yourself. It's quite gendered, isn't it? Expecting that the mother's just going to do all the emotional stuff. Anyway, you can look after yourself basically. And I think that's the beauty of being an adult, and the beauty of therapy, and the beauty of journaling and self-reflecting. You can outline what you were missing when you were younger, fill those gaps, and then move on to the deeper things like pursuing your passions. Positive affirmations are something that I constantly on this channel am recommending to you beautiful people, and the reason why is because I think words are really powerful, hence why I talk in all my videos, just that's what my videos are. So I think if you struggled with self-esteem growing up, repeating positive affirmations that insinuate that you're worthy, that you're enough, that you're beautiful are a really good thing to do in the morning every day. I just think we all need to give ourselves time to heal, time to accept who we are, and just protect ourselves. I think we all just want to get to that self-actualizing stage where we feel a real sense of purpose in this world, where we feel loved and appreciated mainly by ourselves, because that is the best kind of love, self-love. Yes, being loved by someone else is so beautiful and magical, but when you don't feel good enough in yourself, then sometimes you're not even capable of seeing other people's love or feeling that, because you think, no, but I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, he doesn't actually love me, she doesn't actually love me, they don't actually love me. When maybe they do, you just don't love yourself, so you're blind to love. It's really important to remember that we're all really different, and that's why the Maslow's hierarchy of needs things is interesting, and I think a bit flawed, because obviously some people need some things more than others. Like I think my self-esteem is heightened, is really strong when I have a lot of creative fulfilment. I think that's one of the most important things for me. That's why this YouTube channel is so important, and that's why I'm always posting videos, because the more I do that, the more I realise how my opinions are important and my stories are important, and the more I realise that I'm a creator and I honour that, the more my self-esteem is raised or heightened and stronger. When I post a video that I'm proud of, it has a knock-on effect. Feeling good in yourself is one of those things that comes with understanding yourself, with time, with journaling, with talking to people, with the bad experiences too. You realise what you're lacking and what you need and why things went wrong. Okay, the next thing that I'm so excited to share with you, let's have some water together quickly. Deep breaths. Let's say something kind to ourselves really quickly together. I'm enough. I'm enough. You can whisper in your head, you don't have to say it out loud. So the next thing that I really want to talk to you about, that I think was kind of a bit of a eureka moment for me yesterday, is challenging yourself and movement. Combining those two together. Yesterday I did a Mad Fit workout. If you don't know her, go and check her out on YouTube, she's amazing. I did that, and then I did some hula hooping. Listened to some of my favourite songs. I actually listened to the song that is a bit of a throwback. I don't know if you know it. It's I don't like it. I love it. Oh, so cringing myself out right now. Yeah, it's a really cringy song, but I quite like cringy pop songs to hula hoop or skip to. I like skipping as well. Basically, particularly with the Mad Fit workout, I really challenged myself. I really pushed myself in a healthy way, of course. And I haven't done that in such a long time. Like, I haven't worked out in a really long time either, but particularly I haven't pushed myself a little bit. I haven't pushed myself out of my comfort zone. And I do think when you do that, you really realise what you're capable of. And I think that's why exercise is so amazing. You push past barriers and you realise how strong you are. And I think recently I've actually not realised that. I think I've been actually in quite a weird phase where I felt quite in the way, quite apologetic, a bit like an inconvenience. I've just been actually in quite this low vibration stage. And actually exercising really helped to clear the clouds, and I was like, oh, I'm really worthy and I'm strong. And if these people don't like me, then whatever, because I like me and I can self-soothe and look after myself. I can feel good because I can just exercise. Like the endorphins you get when you exercise, especially when you push yourself a little bit. Obviously, you've got to do it in a healthy way. Don't push yourself to the point of being in so much pain and yeah, obviously. But a healthy challenge, I think you forget how important it is. It's so enlightening because you really realise that you are so capable, physically but also mentally. I've got a quote that quite perfectly sums this up. It's by Eleanor Roosevelt. You gain strength, courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing which you think you cannot do. Facing your fears is really important for growth. And they do say, I've heard this before, I don't know how to put it succinctly, but they do say that the things that might look uncomfortable and feel uncomfortable are usually the things that make you feel good in the end. Or the things that are harder to do initially are the things that you reap the most benefits from. Whereas the things that are really easy to quickly do make you feel bad after, like basically like watching TV. It's really easy to just click on Netflix and watch TV, but after you feel not very energized, you might not feel very good about yourself. But if you choose to exercise, yeah, you have to get your workout gear on and you have to actually move your body and you're a bit like lazy. But after you have this burst of energy. Yesterday when I did my workout, and I literally did quite an intense workout and I haven't worked out for a while. Don't do that, by the way. Gradual. Don't push your body to an extreme suddenly. But yeah, anyway, I did this workout and I felt so good that I was like, I'm going to walk to the shop now and get some broccoli for dinner. I just felt really motivated after, and I had my most productive hour work-wise. And that's why exercise is so amazing, because you can push yourself out of your comfort zone and realise how capable you are. I think to feel good about yourself, you sometimes need to do the things that don't feel easy. Not all the time, but I think a lot of the time. Like for example, this is something that I do. When I go to bed, I put on a YouTube video, but actually reading is that a little bit more of a challenge. I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but you know what I mean. It involves a bit more effort, but I would go into a much deeper sleep if I was reading. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Okay, my last thing, which is arguably my most important thing that I wanted to talk about. In fact, originally I literally just wanted to talk about this, but then I thought no one's going to be searching this. Basically, I want to talk about the pressure to be happy. There is the biggest pressure to be happy in this world right now, because the well-being industry is taking off, and there's a massive narrative on positivity and happiness, and I think that pressure to be happy is making us unhappy. Yeah, I just want to remind you that happiness is not a permanent state of being. Like all emotions, sadness, excitement, fear, happiness is temporary. I think most of us need reminding of this, me included, because happiness is sold to us as like a destination, as a goal, as a place you reach and then you kind of just live in. Happiness is not that. Happiness is not a place that you live in when you get your life together. I think I have felt such a pressure to be happy, mainly because I engage in a lot of like media about happiness. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts that talk about self-improvement, which inevitably talk about how to be happy. And I think this actually puts this pressure on me, and then I overthink it. So when I'm actually quite content, I wake up in the morning and I'm reading my book, I'm thinking, am I happy? Am I happy enough? How can I make myself happy? Maybe if I light another candle or if I play rainforest sounds, I'll be happy. But I think this pressure makes us unhappy. It means that we overthink life. And I think that actually being happy should be more about being content. And when I'm content, it's usually when I'm present. But if I'm overthinking if I'm happy or not, I'm not going to be present. I'm going to be overthinking things. I'm going to be thinking about what ifs. Yeah, I think this is where meditation comes in too. The best way to be present and in the moment is to do deep breaths and to practice meditation. this is something that I really need to get back into too, because if I'm honest, I haven't been meditating and I really miss it. Sometimes I think we just need to accept what is and trust the process. That might be my affirmation for today. I accept what is and I trust the process. I actually found a scientific report that backed up what I've just said. So the more pressure there is for people to be happy, the less likely it will be that people will say they're happy. So seeing happy people on Instagram all the time is going to be putting pressure on yourself, and that's going to be making you unhappy. So get off Instagram. I'm talking to you, Alessia, editing Alessia. I know this is all quite hypocritical of me to say, to talk about the pressure of being happy when I'm making a video about how to be happy, how to feel good about yourself. But I did want to talk about this mainly actually, because if you clicked on this video, you're probably like me and you're probably really self-aware and you are really dedicated to your own personal growth journey, but maybe you're actually putting too much pressure on yourself to be happy. Maybe you just needed to hear it, because it's something that I wish I could have heard sooner. I think I get into the habit sometimes of being constantly on the lookout for the cure, the fix, instead of just accepting that I'm a human who is going to experience a complete mixture of emotions all the time. That's okay, and that's normal. That's part of our wiring. We're not always going to be happy. We can do things to make ourselves happy more of the time, but I think if we make happiness acceptable and anything but not acceptable, then we're going to punish ourselves when we're in this kind of low state, and it's going to make it much more painful, and then it's going to make it stigmatized, which it already is, and we're not going to talk about it, and talking about our feelings is really important. So I just think we need to just accept that happiness is one feeling, yes, it's great, but sadness is not necessarily bad, it just is. I just think so many people are judging themselves for feeling low, and I don't want you to do that, because everyone does. Nobody is happy. Everyone gets low, everyone feels sad. No one's a happy person, really. You can say people are bubbly, but no one's constantly happy. Take that pressure, that burden off your shoulders for a second. Tell yourself you're enough, even when you're feeling sad or low. That might be right now. And if you are, I'm sending you a hug. Maybe if you are feeling low, just take some deep breaths, practice acceptance, just embrace your kind of human nature. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe and comment. You can support me by going onto my Patreon link in my description box. You can hit the little bell notification because I post all the time. And I don't know what my next video is going to be on. If you've got any suggestions, please leave a comment and let me know.